Welcome, gentlemen, and welcome, Barrister Eze Luche. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much. And happy New Year to your viewers.
Thank you very much for joining us today. I want us to take a look at the legal implications and the legal interpretations of what's going on here with the Rivers State situation. Many Nigerians seem to be tired of what's happening. It's like, is it only Fubara is Fubara the only governor? Of all the 36 state governors, he's the one whose name we hear all the time. 4 lawmakers stepped away and said, let's not impeach this man. Only for them to make a turnaround within 36 hours and say, let's impeach him. Now the court has stepped in. So, what is the constitutional interpretation of the powers of the Rivers State Assembly versus the powers of the court to stop the assembly from carrying out its functions?
Thank you very much. I think basically what is going on in Rivers State is brigandage. Brigandage at the highest level, and state managed or perpetrated from even the center, from Abuja. It's not something you begin to discuss the legal implications or the constitutional implications because it's non-applicable in Rivers State. Why do I say so? When the issues of Rivers State first started, if you recollect, it was Bola Tinubu invited both Wike and Fubara to the Aso Rock, and he brokered a settlement, which did not last long because they went back and then there was this state of emergency that was declared. And so ever since then, when you see what has been going on, it's just been terrorism, brigandage, and it will when you see Wike going around to try to get the support of the notorious mercenaries like Asari Dokubo, when you see people on the streets now begin to say, no Wike, no Rivers State. And in the midst of all this, these federal security agencies have not acted. When you see mobs saying no Rivers State, no Wike, no Rivers State, that is even enough to even pick them up. When you imagine what's going on, the level of terror and brigandage, you now begin to wonder, what is the interest of Mr. Bola Tinubu in the crisis in Rivers State? To stop the state assembly from proceeding with impeachment? The basic answer legally is no, they don't have any such powers. But if there was actually a judicial system, an NJC, National Judicial Council, you would have expected the Chief Justice of the country to immediately swing in and curb that excess by that state high court that tried to stop the state assembly from doing legislative functions. But there will be no such response, because it is all in line with the intendment of Mr. Bola Tinubu to continue to create crisis in Rivers State. At the end of the day, the major victims of what is going on is the people of Rivers State. Because ever since the advent of this democratic dispensation, and I'm talking all the way from the time of the former governor of Rivers State, the first governor, Dr. Odile, the Rivers State finances have been used to further federal interest. Dr. Odile used it for the time of Jonathan. Amechi also used it to help Muhammadu Buhari into office. Wike used it to help Mr. Bola Tinubu into office at the expense of the people of Rivers State. And what are we going to see? We're going to see an explosion of violence in the next few days, because from the posture of the two populists in the state, Fubara on one side and Wike on the other side, there will be an explosion of violence. And that is when, again, Mr. Bola Tinubu will step in and say, okay, there is now violence. Let me put somebody who will be milking the state of Rivers further. Just like he used Ibas, the former Navy Commodore, to virtually destroy and milk the state. If we have to understand the desperation of Mr. Bola Tinubu in all this. And that is why Nigeria cannot allow this kind of regime.
But Barrister, you're taking it away from the state. You're saying that the president is responsible for what's happening in Rivers State, if I get you correctly. But he didn't start the situation. This situation escalated. It started between Wike and Fubara and escalated to what we have today. Why would you blame the president for what's going on?
Good, thank you very much. You see, from the very onset, what was the issue between Fubara and Wike? That humongous sums were being given to Mr. Wike and his cohorts by the Fubara government. despite him being the governor in office. At that stage, even the EFCC was aware of the amount of monies moving around, because these monies don't move around like spirits. That is the role of the EFCC. So why did the EFCC not even step in at that time? Because it was part of a game plan. I mean, I don't want Nigerians to to forget the real cause, because until you know the real cause of the Rvers State crisis, you can't begin to address it. You cannot, the issue is not that Wike or Fubara are antagonistic to themselves. The reality is that somebody has been instigated. And if you look at the utterances, the posture, the mannerism with which Wike brandishes himself across the state, with federal, with soldiers, Air Force personnel, Navy personnel, when he visits the state, you know that definitely he's been prompted by the center, and not just a mere crisis between Rivers State indigents. But again, I keep on telling you, Rivers State, you have borne this grunt for a long time. You have borne the pains of this maladministration for a long time. Do not let it continue, because apart from my home state, Imo State, the only other state which I know which has suffered most in terms of governance is the people of Rivers State. And that is basically due to federal interference. So we must identify the cause, then begin to address it. The cause of the Rvers State crisis is none other than Mr. Bola Tinubu, who has allowed it to fester. And it's for his own political aggrandizement and good.
All right.
He now wants to appear as a peacemaker, when in reality it's not.
All right, then.
No, that's quite a big one, because would it have not been easier for the president to allow Wike have his way? Because since Wike is his federal capital territory minister, he would have just allowed Wike to have his way, impeach the man, and be in control of the state, and make sure that the 251,000 votes he got at the election in 2023 gets improved to as much as 500,000 when the 2027 election comes in play. Instead, it looks like somebody is still holding brief for Fubara, because how do you blame the president if, for instance, Wike is still struggling to have a hold on Rivers State, because the governor looks like he doesn't have anybody, but somehow it looks like he has somebody who still wants him to be the governor of the state?
Yes, you see, the issue is this. Mr. Bola Tinubu, you can't take it away from him. He's a very smart politician. Okay. And then what he's just done is he has blown up, he has dropped up Mr. Wike, and he understands that allowing Wike to continue in that strength will be a detriment to him in 2027. So having made Mr. Wike look big, he owes himself a duty to also destroy Wike. So that is what has transpired now. Wike is virtually a minus. He's just like a rabble-rouser in Rivers State. And then he also has to prop up the governor, Fubara. So it's like he's balancing two evils, just to ensure that he has his way come 2027. When you look at Mr. Bola Tinubu's antecedents in Lagos State, when he had 3 deputy governors, you begin to understand the manipulative tendencies of Mr. Bola Tinubu. And so those who understand him know him very well. And I do understand him very well. So the problems in Rivers State is traceable to none other than Mr. Bola Tinubu.
Let's go to our guest at the studio.